Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, guys. I am your host, hosting Cruz, and ladies and gentlemen, what a fight! First of all, what a night of fights on the Tim Tzyu versus Sebastian Fondora card. But man, I want to talk about the main event. The main event was one of the most violent fights I've seen in quite some time in all my years of watching boxing, man. I've seen so many great fights, so many bloody fights. This ranks up there. This one ranks up there with one of the all-time greats in bloody fights and brutality of the sport called boxing. First of all, let's talk about the undercard a bit, man. Kerma Moulton beating Cuba in a tremendous fight of prospects. Then you got Brian Mendoza losing to Buhachuk in another solid fight where Mendoza is showing his heart and all that stuff. Buhachuk is a problem at 154. Pressure, chin, punching power, you name it, he's a threat. Then you got Raleigh getting stopped by Pitbull Cruz in the co-main event. Ray Martinez before that beating Joel Cordova, Angelina Cordova in a physical scrap. But the main event, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the best boxing cards I've seen in quite some time, ladies and gentlemen, as well. I mean, on paper, it did not look like a great card, but in terms of action, man, it exceeded expectations. All the fights were action-packed. Then you got Lara. Then you got sensational knockouts by Irizlani Lara, stopping and KOing Serafa. And, like I said, Cruz stopping Raleigh. But the main event, like I said, it's, in my opinion, is the fight of the year so far. Brutal. Blood and guts type of fight. It's like when the fight got started, ladies and gentlemen, it's like someone poured buckets of blood over Fondora and Tim, and they rang the bell for the first round. Let's get it on. After that elbow, Tim was having his way with Fondora, and it was not looking good in the first round. That's the same round where Tim drove the right hand straight on Fondora's face and busted his nose. That's what shattered his nose, and from there on, Fondora just fought with a bloody nose, trickling blood profusely, didn't stop. And then the elbow came where Tim ran into Fondora's elbow and split his head open. That was it. Blood just started to flow like a river, and Tim had to deal with that for the majority, for the remaining of the fight, for the rest of the fight. Had to deal with blood on his face, a blinding long jab by Fondora all night on Tim's face. Tim trying to get inside, landed some shots here and there. Fondora with the jab, left hands popping left hands here and there, keeping Tim at bay. Using his height, using his reach. He usually fights on the inside. But this time he fought more on the outside, but still made it an exciting fight. Because Tim was just pressing, trying to land body shots, head shots, and he was doing that. But it was just too much. The blood was just too much and impairing his vision. And all in all, it just made the fight fun for us, man. These two guys, for 12 rounds, displayed a fight pure of heart, courage, guts. It was a bloodbath for 12 rounds. A true bloody war. One of the most bloodiest fights in the history of boxing. Brutal fight. So talk about an action card. Then the main event ended up turning out that way. And and not only that, man, coming into this fight after Fondora got sparked by Mendoza over almost a year ago in a knockout that was KO of the year. And when a fighter goes through that, and they come back, they usually take a tune-up or two. But Fondora went straight for the lion's den, man. Straight to Tim Tzyu, who's no joke, who's one of the top 154 pounders in the world, who was undefeated coming in, the champion. And he went in there and beat him. It was not easy, man. It was not easy. Like I said, it was a bloodbath. So Fondora earned his championship, earned the title. You know, he earned it. He fought his ass off like no other, and of course Tim fought his ass off as well. But that jab and that consistent jab, and it was a close fight. So he could have gone either way for me, but I don't mind Fondora picking up that win, man. He deserved it. He fought his ass off, and he deserved it. Tim will be back. Hopefully a rematch happens. That was a great fight. I would like to see what will happen now with Tim not having an open head, basically, and yeah, without blood or anything. I mean, boxing styles make fights. Maybe they might end up doing this thing again. You know, give and take. You know, hopefully there's no head clashes or elbow clashes in the rematch if it happens. But all in all, man, what a fight. I was just sitting there watching that fight, quiet, at awe, humble, watching these two guys taking the punishment that they took with all that blood all over them. It was just a amazing fight. And unexpected, man. Unexpected. I expected Fondora to be competitive, but not in that way. Fondora, what a bounce back victory for Fondora. What a bounce back victory. After getting KO'd the way he did, and to coming back and beating one of the top fighters at 154 pounds. Maybe the top fighter. And winning the championship. Not only winning, but unified champion now. From getting KO in his last fight to becoming unified champion of the world, it was a chance he took. You got to respect Fondora for that, man. He got the call. He was supposed to fight Blachowicz in what would have been a good fight. Tremendous fight. But he got the call, and he stepped in for Keith Thurman, and, man, he did it. You know, opportunity knocked on the door, and Fondora took it, and now he's the new unified champion of the world after a bloodbath of a fight. And like I said, the undercard was action-packed, man. 17-year-old prospect. Mayweather prodigy Cormac Moulton defeating Cuba, undefeated as well. A fight that you normally don't see. Two prospects risking it all for a chance at greatness, for a chance to make a name for themselves, and they did it. Brian Mendoza showing heart, chin. Blachowicz was a bit too much pressure, too much punching power, all that stuff. Cruz stopping Rolly Romero in a sensational fashion, becoming new champion at 140 pounds, WBA champion. And Ray Martinez beating Angelina Cordova in a physical scrap. All in all, man, great card, great night of boxing. If you paid that $70, I'm sure you got your money's worth. You're comfortable. You feel better about spending that $70, you know, because these fighters did not disappoint in this card at all. I was highly impressed. It was one of the best cards I've seen in quite some time in terms of action. But, man, I know this card was so action-packed that everyone went to the hospital after their fight. Everyone. Everyone got hit with a lot of shots. It was a lot of give and takes in their fights, and they definitely spent the night in the hospital, especially the main event fighters. And Mendoza and Cordova with swollen jaws to their left cheek. It was like a ball coming out of their cheeks. You know, so all in all, man, great night of boxing. Boxing won. And hopefully we get more of those type of action fights and cards in the next event, in the next upcoming events. But congratulations to all the winners last night, man. They well deserved. They fought their asses off, and this is what boxing is all about. You don't play boxing, and the main event between Tim and Fondora showed you why you don't play boxing. Miracle Boy Boxing, guys. I am your host, Wilson Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, guys. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.